Welcome to writing your first CLN plugin. My name is Guida. This is going to be, what's that?
You're super loud.
Oh, I'm super loud. Oh. All right. Hello. Hello. Better? All right. Don't want to deafen people. All right. Yeah. So this is going to be a slightly different workshop from what I've seen so far. We are actually going to build a plugin. Everybody in this room is hopefully here to write some code, and we're going to write some code. So I'm not going to I'm going to talk for like a few minutes, and then basically I'm going to just kind of set you guys loose in the replit, and I'm going to help you work through the tutorial. And I built the tutorial. It's very easy to follow through. Anybody with any development experience at all, even if you don't have developer experience, you should be able to work through this tutorial. So raise your hand if you're ready to write some code. All right, cool. Most of you. All right, cool. If you're feeling intimidated, I'm gonna leave like most of this hour to just ask questions, and I'll walk around and help you guys do the tutorial. All right, so first we'll just talk about what a CLN plugin is. First we'll talk about what a CLN plugin is, just to kind of give an overview in case you don't know what a CLN plugin is. So I'm really excited about CLN plugins because I think they're a very easy entry point into Bitcoin and Lightning development. Basically, Bitcoin and Lightning development can be very intimidating, and it's hard to kind of even get to the point where you have a PR up, let alone actually are contributing in some way to the ecosystem. And since plugins are self-contained binaries and they have their own GitHub repos, you can basically just build something that alters core Lightning's functionality in kind of a fun or cool way, or maybe a very useful way. And you can do this without risking other people's money or even your own money. So what is a CLN plugin? It's an executable file. It's started by CLN. It runs as a sub-process of CLN, and we can talk about what that means. It communicates with CLN via the plugins standard in and standard out. So basically, we can get more into detail about that. So I'm just going to run through this. And if you guys have any questions about what anything means, just raise your hand and shout out the question. It can be written in any language, as I said, just as long as it's an executable binary. So this is why I'm excited about it. Like anybody coming in with Go or Rust or Python experience can just write one of these plugins, and then even though core Lightning is written in C, it can still interface with your plugin. So it's an easy entry point for Lightning Dev. It can be launched at CLN startup, or it can be dynamically launched. It can be a dynamic plugin, which means that you can start core Lightning, and then after a while you can start your plugin. And then the important thing is it extends core Lightning's functionality, and the three ways that it extends core Lightning's functionality is through RPC methods, event stream notifications, and hooks. Okay, so now we're going to go to the replit. So everybody needs to do this. Everybody please go to the replit.
I don't see it.
So it should be here in day 2.
It's not published.
So click it in the replit, and then you can publish it.
Click into the replit. Okay, I haven't published it yet. Okay, so sorry, where's the, publish project.
Good.
Okay. Wow, I can't believe that didn't happen. Let's see. All right, sorry about that. Wow, okay. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, so now I guess refresh the page. Hopefully it's in here.
I see it now.
All right, so what you're gonna do is make sure you fork the REPL. So you're gonna click the title here, writing your first CLN plugin, and you're gonna go to this little hamburger menu here, and you're gonna say fork. And then it's gonna default the owner of this to the BTC++ team. Don't do that. Fork it to your own user's account. So everybody has a replit user account, right? Does anybody not have a replit user account? You have a confused face. Are you?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the fork.
Okay. So if you need help finding it, ask somebody else, or I can show you. Okay, and then you say fork rebel.
Wait, where do we go for forks?
What's that?
Sorry, we just did it, and I like.
Yeah, okay, so I'll do it one more time. So you go here, writing your first CLN plugin, you'll see this, the title, click that, and then hidden way over here in the corner of this menu is this little 3 dots here.
So Chris, I don't think they'll
mine
make
just
sense
says
because they're not admin. There's in the admin view.
Yeah.
They'll just start project.
Just go to start project.
I think they'll just see that you let you start project, not before.
Yeah, I don't see fork as an option, I just see delete as an option.
Do you see your username as your URL?
Wait, has anybody been able to do this?
I have admin.
You're an admin.
Yeah.
No, okay, but don't, so it doesn't, you shouldn't need to be an admin to fork it to your own user.
You get that option because you're an admin. Like you just all start project, right? And you just click start project. Yeah, that's the way that people who are not admin should go and do it. They should go to the team page because they're a member of the team, so they go to the team link. From
Okay, you're right,
If
okay.
they find it, then there'll be a start project button and they should be able to go.
Okay, so teams,
Yep, BDC++.
okay, and then,
And they'll see something very different here because they'll see just the start project.
okay, hopefully we can just search for it. Writing my first.
And there's a bajillion errors flowing down the side.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, yeah, don't run the oh fuck. I mean,
Shoot, golly gee.
yeah, I don't know how to make that stop. Just close the console. Interesting. I didn't see that before. Okay. So you don't need the console for this. You just need the shell. You can close Ghostwriter. Okay. Everybody should be on a screen that looks like this.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me if you're not ready. Okay. Anybody need more time? You're good? All right. Everybody's good to go. All right. So in the tutorial, we're going to walk through the process of building a minimal plugin for CLN. Okay. So here's the stuff that's in the REPL. Here's some ideas for hackathon projects, and then we already looked at this on one of the slides. And yeah, let's just walk through this first page, I guess. So let's think of some examples of plugins. We have the Pay plugin. So these are built-in plugins, and you can click this. This is a clickable link, and this will bring you to all of the built-in plugins for Core Lightning. These are all written in C, and actually, if you read the README, any file in this directory which is executable and whose name consists of alphanumeric characters will be automatically loaded when Lightning D starts. So all of these are actually bundled in with Core Lightning, and they do sort of very important functions in Core Lightning. And they all start when Core Lightning starts. And so, this one is responsible for key sending, and this one is responsible for dual funding. This one, it takes care of your Bitcoin backend. So all of this, most of Core Lightning's important functionality is actually carried out by these plugins that are written in C. Okay, now we have the official plugins repo. So this is a different repo. This is called lightning_d/plugins. These plugins are all written in, well, actually, most of these plugins are written in Python. And these use the Python plugin framework is the sort of most maintained plugin platform for Core Lightning. And it's actually used by the Core Lightning team to write tests for new functionality. So it's most of the plugins that you'll look at are written using the Python framework. Some of these might be written in, so this one's written in Go. So anyway, so you can kind of just browse through those. CLBOS is kind of a outlier. I think it doesn't have a framework. It has its own framework. It's like this sort of functional framework written in C++. It's a really interesting project. It actually is kind of like what LND wanted Autopilot to be. It's an automated node manager. It kind of manages your fees, opens channels, closes channels. Manages your funds, manages all your routing fees. It does swaps. Anyway, very, very cool plugin. And then here are some of the languages and frameworks. So most of you, if you have little to no coding experience, I would recommend using the Python framework. And so my goal for you all, for this, within the next like 40, 50 minutes, is for you to write a full CLN plugin and run it, and then hopefully publish it to your GitHub user. And we'll get you set up with GitHub if you're not set up with it yet. So we're going to walk through Python. And then if you want to build a plugin in Rust or Go, you can use one of these frameworks. And I'm slightly less familiar with these frameworks. I'm actually, but I can sort of help you if you want to do something a little more advanced than using the Python framework. And then here's a bunch of other frameworks that if you're comfortable with any of these languages, feel free to just start using any of these. These I have not tested in this REPL, and so you may need to build and you may need to install Bitcoin and Core Lightning just locally on your machine. If you have Linux or Mac, I can help you do this. Okay, so yeah, so just please get started with the tutorial. I guess I'll give you guys like, well, let's run through this. All right, so there's only a few requirements for a plugin. It needs to be a process, again, it needs to be a process that can be launched by Core Lightning. And I will show you how to do that in here. Actually, it's right here. You can launch it using, you can launch it at startup using the command line or in the config file, or you can do it using Lightning CLI plugin start, and that's if you have a dynamic plugin. And then there's two things that your plugin needs to do, otherwise Core Lightning will kill it. It needs to have a response to the get manifest method, and that's going to look something like this. And the frameworks that we're using, the Python, Go, and Rust frameworks, will take care of doing all of this for you in the background. You just need to sort of munge a couple of variables. And then the next thing that your plugin needs to do is it needs to respond to the init method. And so the init method is going to pass all of the options that your plugin wants to the plugin. And then your plugin is going to send a success response. And then if any of this doesn't happen, then Core Lightning brutally kills your plugin. So basically, the frameworks that we're going to use are going to make sure that our plugin doesn't get killed. And then now the plugin is running normally, and your plugin can do stuff. All right, so let's do this exercise. So can everybody see hello world.py? Anybody not see hello world.py? Okay. I've copied it in both places, just for redundancy's sake. Okay, now here's a bunch of shell commands. I'm going to just do this, but I encourage you to do it too. Sometimes Replit will spontaneously restart. So if that happens, you will need to re-enter these three commands. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna make our directory for Bitcoin reg test. We're going to run startup reg test, and we're going to run start LN. And if you guys
pops up, just close it.
And if if the web view pops up, just close it. We don't need it. Just like that. Just close it. Okay. Okay, so now we should have two Lightning nodes running in reg test mode. So we'll do L1 CLI get info, we have orange monkey, and we have, for completeness' sake, we have L2, which is our second Lightning node. And this is United Gopher. Obviously you guys are going to have different random aliases on all of your machines. Okay. Now, we're going to run this hello world.py file. Is everybody following along? Have you gotten your Lightning nodes started? Does anybody not have their Lightning nodes started? Okay, all right, cool. I will wait until you guys are done, and if you get stuck, just let me know. Okay, cool.
Let's see what page in that tutorial I'm supposed to go for. Here.
Okay, yeah, so scroll down to the bottom, and it'll oh, yeah. So we are on the what page is this? We're on the plugin lifecycle page, and we're at the bottom, where it says exercise, build a bare minimum plugin that conforms to the above requirements. So this is basically a plugin that runs, and that's all it does. And we're going to kind of incrementally add things to it, and hopefully we'll get through this. Okay, cool.
Nice. It works.
All right, it works? Cool. All right.
I'm getting errors.
What error?
Error code -1. Well, it's file error. Did I forget?
No, I think actually that's okay. So try your get info command now. Yep, you're good. Yeah, sometimes Bitcoin Core will spit out an error saying it can't get an exclusive lock on the wallet file, and you can just ignore that. Okay. Mostly everybody is caught up? Cool. All right, let's do the next thing. And you guys can work through this at your own speed. The people who are who's sort of an experienced developer? Like who is familiar with Go or Rust? I guess is a good question. Okay, you guys, you might just kind of run with this tutorial. It has everything that you need to build a Python plugin, and it also has a sample Rust plugin in the Rust plugin folder. I don't know if you saw that. But that will build if you do cargo build, and then you can run it as a Lightning plugin like we're doing in here. So feel free to just kind of branch off and do your own thing. And my goal again is just to have everybody with a functional plugin. Python is just the easiest, but everybody can do this sort of at their own pace. Okay, so if we want to look at the log, we can do L1 log, and it opens in less. Less is a program that views files. We can hit Shift G, and that will put us to the end of the file. If we would like to tail the log, we can do that. We can do tail -f, temp L1 reg test log, and that will sort of follow our Lightning log. I didn't put that command in there. Let me know if you guys need that command again. You can always open another shell if you need 2 shell windows, and then there you go. So you could do like L2, you could do your second Lightning node. Okay, so I have this shell I can use for my second node. This shell I can use for my first node, etc. All right, so moving on. Let's do RPC methods. Okay, so yeah, I guess viewing the log is sort of the deliverable for that first step. Okay, so now we're going to add a RPC method. All right, is everybody good in the back? Everybody following along? Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to add an RPC method to our plugin. We're going to add a method called hello. This is how you do it using the Python framework. And just put this anywhere before this plugin.run statement. So just paste it in there. And then we're going to stop our plugin and start it because it's dynamic. So we can do that.
Yeah, the dollar sign PWD thing is
What's it?
the plugin start. Yeah, it's not.
Oh, yeah, okay. I never started it, so that's why that failed. Okay, so let's. Okay. So now we should be able to do L1 CLI. Hello. Okay, and we get hello world. So, you guys seeing this RPC command working? All right, cool. Has anybody not gotten this to work yet? Okay.
We're still doing the print working directory thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the PWD, because it's running it relative to the temporary folder, PWD doesn't work, so you have to do the absolute path.
Okay, interesting. It works for me.
So you don't have
Yeah, so the command that I gave you with the stop and then the start will actually fail if the plugin isn't running. So, sorry about that. Yeah, just do this start command if the plugin isn't already running. And you can check to see whether the plugin is running by doing L1 CLI plugin list.
Yeah,
And your plugin should be right here. And this
so this is running from a temporary directory, and so when you PWD, it's doing print working directory in the temporary directory, not like your root, right? So you have to do the absolute path. So just in your terminal, just write PWD, and then use that as the absolute path to get where you want to go. Right?
okay, this should work if you. So let's. Okay, but the PWD didn't work.
Correct.
So what happens if you say PWD?
So, for example, we did just this. So you have to like PWD it. Copy this with that. Okay. So how we're Cody did it.
CLI plugin start I wonder if it's because you've got a different slug there. Anyway, okay, yeah. So if you're having problems starting your plugin, just do PWD. Your plugin's path is this. It's the path that you're in, which is home/home/runner/running your first CLN plugin, and then if you're going to have your own username after there, or you're going to potentially have your own username after there, and then /hello world.py, and that's going to be the path that you need to run. So has everybody been able to start their plugin? Okay, and then has everybody been able to add an RPC method to their plugin? Anybody still struggling with adding an RPC method? Okay. I don't know. And then start it. Yeah, close the console. Yeah, the console doesn't do anything helpful. And then do L1 CLI get info. Okay, and then start with it. So don't do stop because that'll fail. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, that command will only work if your plugin is already running. Okay, let's move to the next step. Okay, yeah, so the next step is to test your plugin, is to test your RPC method. So you can actually give it an argument, okay? So, one useful thing that RPC method can do is it can accept things from the command line. So, as you can see, it will accept, an argument that will change the behavior of the method. So now it says hello Chris because I said hello Chris. You can also try hello Chris and stuff. And notice that this causes an error because our function here only accepts one argument. So if you put in too many arguments, then it doesn't like that. So
can you do the hello Chris again?
okay. Yeah. Okay. So we did these checkboxes don't work. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's move on to options. So going a little slow here. All right. So let's move on to options. So this is just one line that you can add, and just put this before the plugin.run. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow your plugin to take a command line argument on when the plugin starts. And so that affects the operation of your plugin. And so we add the option. Oh, and then we also need to change this line. Okay. So where it says greeting equals hello, now we're going to make this greeting depend on this option. So where it says greeting equals hello, we're going to just replace this line with greeting equals plugin.getOption greeting. So what that's going to do is it's going to take that option when the plugin starts up, and it's going to use that as a greeting instead. So we're going to stop our plugin, and then we're going to start our plugin with a value in this option that we just added. So the way to add command line options with Lightning CLI is we say tac-k, which says use keyword arguments. So keyword arguments are where we can specify which argument we are passing. So we can say subcommand equals start, plugin equals that, and then greeting is this option that we just added. So we're going to run this. Okay, so greeting equals a crazy. So what is that going to do when I run L1 CLI hello? Does anybody want to take a guess what this is going to say? if it's kind of, the requirements are a lot more stringent because again, Core Lightning is actually going to block until your plugin returns from the hook. That's why it's called a hook. Okay, so hooks are considered an advanced feature because Lightning is relying on the plugin to tell it what to do next. So just be careful. So in single mode, basically your plugin will say, I am the only plugin that can respond to this hook. And if any other plugin tries to respond to this hook, that plugin will get killed. And then in chain mode, this is kind of what I mentioned before, where you can have multiple plugins that respond to an event in a particular order. And so you can specify this before and after array to say kind of what order you want everything to run in. And if Core Lightning, when it's launching your plugin, if it can't sort of figure out an actual order to do this in, it will just kill your plugin. So it has to be a sort of valid order that resolves to an actual order of plugins. And here's some more information about possibly crashing. So your hook will say result continue. If it's kind of just, that tells Core Lightning, okay, I'm done, you can have control back. And I kind of already talked about this, but basically, notifications are asynchronous and hooks are synchronous. For both single mode and chain mode, only one plugin may return a non-continue response. So then that way, if you have multiple plugins responding, they don't conflict with each other. Okay, so let's add a hook. So we're going to add a hook on the HTLC accepted event. So we're going to copy this. We're going to add this again. You can just add this here before the plugin.run. And then, okay, so can anybody just quickly describe what this handler is going to do? Just anybody, just throw it out. It's very easy.
It sleeps for 20 microseconds and then it just returns a JSON that says result.
Yeah. So basically, it takes control. It prints out a log that says on HTLC accepted call. It sleeps for 20 seconds, and then it returns control. It's back to Core Lightning. So what we should expect when we run this is we should expect to see this line. Then we should expect to see nothing for 20 seconds, and then we should see Core Lightning sort of continue processing. So yeah, so we're copying this, we're pasting it here. We're also going to import time so that we can do our sleep. So we're going to put this at the top. Make sure you do this, it's very important, or else it will crash. Let's start our plugin. Oh, okay. So we're actually gonna start this on node 2. So we actually don't need to stop it because we're not attaching it to node 1. So L2. So now we're going to run the same plugin on node number 2. So now we're running our plugin on node number 1 and on node number 2. Okay, now we're going to do this fun command that Dusty wrote called fun nodes. And what this does is it mines 100 blocks and then sends some of the funds to your nodes, and then it creates a channel between your nodes. So see how easy Core Lightning development is? Everything is all taken care of for you. Sometimes you have to wait for things. You have to wait a while.
My shell just restarted and now I don't have access to this.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. So Replit will do this occasionally. It will just restart. And when you do that, you have to run those 3 commands again. You have to run the make dir command,
It's just
startup reg test
restarting the
command.
shell because of like the browser's reloading, right? And so when you do that, you have to redo the environment variables.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure there's probably a better way I could have engineered this, but you'll just have to, when that happens, when Replit restarts, just run those 3 commands again, and you'll be back in.
Which 3 commands?
So at the very beginning, I'll show you.
I'm up there.
Oh, I see. These ones.
It's the bottom of the.
So at the very beginning, you'll see
Victor.
in plugin lifecycle. Okay, so these 3 commands here. If your replit shell restarts, just run these 3 commands again, and then you'll be back in business.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's a limitation of replit that I was unable to work around. Okay, so once you run the fun nodes command, now you have a channel between node 1 and node 2. We'll just do list channels. Okay, so now we have this channel between L1 and L2. As you can see, I have a bunch of stats. Let's see. Where is? Let's see. I actually don't see where it says our balance and your balance. I guess it's a different command. Anyway, it's all on our side. It's all on node 1's side. But okay, so we've got our hook. Let's switch over back to the. Okay. Did this. Okay, we started our plugin. We funded our nodes. Okay, so now we're going to create an invoice from our second node. First test. You can ignore this warning and just grab this bolt 11. And then you say L1 CLI, hey, and then you paste your bolt 11. Okay, now what did we say is going to happen? Remember? We said it's going to pause for 20 seconds. So as you can see, even though we have reg test and our nodes are directly connected like on the same file system, core lightning is going to hang and the method is not going to finish until our hook finishes running. And if you scroll up in the logs, which I should have done earlier, but...
So after the next restarts, do I have to reconnect my node 1 to node 2?
Yes. I mean, well, so you don't have to, if you're doing the hooks part, are you doing the hook step?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that, you just need to, you need to run the start ILN and then you need to run fund nodes. So you'll need to do, it doesn't actually matter what order you do this in, but you'll need to start the plugin again on the second node. You'll need to run fund nodes again. So basically, yeah, when you do that, it just kind of gets rid of your lightning nodes. So because they're reg test nodes and this is fake money, we can do this. We can just kind of destroy your lightning node and just rebuild it for every single step if we want. But okay, so this message is kind of hidden. Let's see if I can find it. Plugin bookkeeper. This is the hardest part of this tutorial, is finding this log message. Let's see. Let's do something completely different. Let's do... Okay. Let's see. Initialized. Huh. Okay. Oh, okay. I know why. This is supposed to be in your second node. Did I put that on here? Yep, I did. Alright, I'm not following my own instructions. So this is going to be in your L2, in your node number 2, because that's where our hook is running. It's running on L2. Okay, so as you can see, plugin hello world returned from HTLC accepted. So we got on HTLC accepted called. We should see that. Yeah. So on HTLC accepted called. For some reason, this shell is getting cut off. I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, that's the message we're looking for. So our hook ran. All right. That's pretty much it. If you guys got this far, congratulations. This is officially a plugin that you can run. Obviously, it doesn't do much, but as you can see, like hopefully you can see all of the possibilities of this. Again, so we can look at all of the possible hooks. Let's see. Okay. So we just did on HTLC accepted, but you know we can do a peer connected hook. We can do command revocation, DB write, invoice payment, open channel, channel 2. That's a V2 channel opening protocol, so dual funding and splicing and things like that. Sign RBF, HTLC accepted. So this is the one that we were using.
Anything for like Bolt 12, anything? Or Bolt 12 offer events?
Maybe. Let's see. Offered forward event. That probably would. That I don't know enough about how Bolt 12 operates, but I'm sure like HTLC accepted might get kicked off.
It's not just regular payment received and then they
This one actually might work. Onion messages. So Bolt 12 uses onion messages, so you might be able to like intercept those to see when the 12 thing is happening. That's a good question for like a core lightning dev. But okay. So now I encourage you to experiment with adding, sort of changing this code a little bit. Maybe change the name of your method. You know, do something different. If you're familiar with Python, you know, just kind of what I did. I made this. So here's an example. Go plugins. So in the course of learning how to write plugins in Go, I decided to just write a little command line thing in Go. I guess we're kind of running out of time, but so I encourage you to use this Python framework that we were just using. Also, there's CLN plugin, which is the Rust framework that does basically a very similar thing.
Yeah, Rust.
Yeah, Rust. Yeah, Rust is the correct language.
You hold your tongue, Julian.
Yeah, so here's an example. Rust plugin that does kind of basically the same thing. You know, it does has a peer connected hook. It has a connect handler. Has a test method. Has some options. So yeah, let's take like the next. I don't know how much more time do I have, Cody? Is that it?
Thank you very much, Chris.
All right, thank you everyone. Thank you for coming to my VTC++ talk. And yeah, and definitely, you know, come to me, and if you guys want to do a CLN plugin for your hackathon project, just come to me, you know, and I'll get you set up.